Hello, hello, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of Your Daily Armor. I have a squeaky chair. I hate squeaky chairs. I gotta fix that. All right, so today's topic is very simple. I can't breathe. All right, so sit back and relax, and we're gonna take you down this little journey down memory lane. So, police officers have a way of separating themselves from reality. It's their way of dealing with it, right? So sometimes they see it as a game, like people are puzzle or chess pieces and they're just kind of watching it. And that's why they have a hard time connecting sometimes. But anyway, every now and then you come across a situation that goes right to your core, right to your heart. And this situation was one of those. I was working undercover at the time. I was working with a CI. And yes, they do exist, confidential informants. Sometimes not so confidential, sometimes really sucky at informing, but hey, it's part of the game. So I was working with the CI, and the CI said, hey, I've got this female, she likes to sell meth. I'm like, cool, let's set up a deal. So he calls her up, arranges for a deal, and she's like, hey, why don't you come down to my apartment? Well, most of the time we don't do drug deals inside of residences, and there's a reason why. One, we don't control it, we don't know who's in there, we don't know about weapons, like there's a lot of unknowns, and we try and stack the odds in our favor, if you will. So I was like, I don't know. I started doing research, found out that this female was in her early 20s, lived with mom, and there wasn't anything else at the house. So my boss gave the A-OK, and we said, all right, let's go do this. Now, mind you, I'm walking up kind of chuckling because I'm going to buy drugs from a female that is in her early 20s. Yep. So, knock on the door, she opens up, and as she does, there's this 5'4" blonde, 5'4" drug dealer. But that wasn't the most surprising part. The most surprising part was that she's holding an 18-month-old baby girl in her arms. Like a little baby girl, diapers only, in her arm. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna. I was like, well, we'll see where this one goes. So we go inside. Mom is in the living room. We say hi to mom, and then go to the bedroom. She closes the door, and we're sitting there, of course, talking about drugs and price and whatever. She puts the baby girl down on the bed, and I'm kind of watching this baby girl, like kind of confused at this whole situation. How can you be a mom and a drug dealer at the same time? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. But hey, whatever. It is what it is. So she turns around and she's getting the drugs together. And then I notice that at the same time, she's lighting up her pipe, her meth pipe. She's literally smoking meth, not only in front of us, but in front of this little baby girl. And I look around, the door's closed, the window's closed. There is nowhere for these fumes to go, like nowhere at all. So I start getting a little pissed off. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, what do you mean, what am I doing? I'm like, you're smoking right now. She's like, yeah, and? I'm like, your little girl is right here. Like, it didn't even pop in her head the fact that smoking meth could somehow affect her little girl. So I go over to the window, I pop open the window, try and get the smoke to go out. It's not going out fast enough. I'm getting pissed off, I'm getting frustrated. So finally I was like, you know what, we're out of here. So I grabbed the drugs, paid her money, and out we went. I was so mad because I couldn't believe that anybody could treat a little girl like this. Like 18 months old. I couldn't believe it. Needless to say, the case didn't last very long. We ended up going back, I think 2 days later, arrested her, took her to jail, gave her baby to CPS. And I remember sitting there in the interview room, and she's going off and crying about, I don't have money, and I'm trying to make ends meet, and I'm trying to make all these things work. And the only thing going through my head was like, yeah, at the expense of your daughter. So she gets booked into jail. I'm doing the paperwork. And as I'm sitting there doing the paperwork, I start to think about myself, because here was the thing. I was doing the same thing that she was. Stay with me here. I don't smoke. I don't use drugs, right? But my inability to connect with my kids, my neglect, was putting them in danger. I wasn't being a good father. I wasn't being a good husband. I wasn't teaching them the proper way to behave. Why? Because I was too busy at work. I saw work as my primary responsibility. So why would I spend time with the kids, right? But then I would get home and I would bring home what? I would bring home work. So I'd be angry. I'd be pissed off. I'd be short-tempered. I didn't want to play with them. I want to sit on the couch and watch TV. And so these kids are being neglected, right? There's active and inactive neglect, but I was neglecting my kids. And so what's the behavior that I'm teaching them? That it's okay to come home from work, to be pissed off, to be angry, to sit down on the couch, to ignore everybody else, to yell and scream. Like, these are the behaviors that I'm teaching them. And so I realized that I was just like this female drug dealer. We were exactly the same. Yeah, she used drugs, and no, I didn't, but our behaviors were exactly the same. They were affecting the health and well-being of our kids. So I ask you the same question. Consider, where in your life are you neglecting your kids? Your behavior is neglecting them. Your behavior is causing harm to them. It could be in body, it could be in balance, it could be in being, it could be in business, it doesn't matter. Take, for example, your body. You may not be happy with your body, and you may choose to sedate with food, with alcohol, with cigarettes. Like, it doesn't matter. You're ignoring the fact, you're neglecting your body, but by you neglecting your body, what are you doing? You're teaching your kids to do the exact same thing. Kids don't learn from what we tell them. Kids learn from what they see us do. So think about that the next time that you go through your routine. What is your routine? I don't know. It could be a coming home from work routine. It could be a when my wife gets pissed off routine. It could be a when I don't feel like going to the gym routine. I mean, whatever routine it is, you need to ask yourself if that routine is damaging your children, if the neglect is causing damage to them. So, one more thing. Quote of the day. Negligence is the gateway to a slow and painful death. Yes, you can ignore your body, but it's going to die. Yes, you can ignore your bank account, but eventually you'll be broke. And yes, you can ignore your spouse, but eventually you will be divorced and alone. So, that's it for today. Take this. Find one area in your life where you're neglecting something that is causing damage to your kids. Write that down, and then write a game plan on how you're going to overcome that. All right, so I need to do a few things. One, like this video, comment on it. I want to hear your comments. I want to be able to interact with you. So comment on it, right? Good, bad, and different, doesn't matter. I want you to go to Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. It's at Warrior Guardian. Facebook, Warrior Guardian. We got a page. We got some content rolling out there. And last but not least, stay safe. And we'll see you on the next one.